Alright guys, welcome back to the last video on how to use iMovie. This is based on section 4 of the guide. So this section of the video is going to focus all on this part of the iMovie screen. There's not a ton to go over, but we're going to go through it part by part. So the first thing I'm going to show you is these buttons down here. But before I do that, let me say one thing about this. This particular section and these buttons work on whatever clip you have queued up, meaning whereas the stuff we worked on here affects things in the timeline, like a song that plays throughout the whole movie or a transition that connects clips together, this section focuses on just whatever clip you're working on. So for example, if I click this clip, which is sort of the main part of my movie, all of these options are going to change things in this section. Okay, so let's go through with that. The first thing I'm going to do is, you might recognize this symbol from other things. This is play full screen, so if you hit it, it pulls up the clip in full screen. And now I'm going to hit that pause button, and then to get out of it, I hit the escape key in the top left corner of my keyboard. There's that. We went over these buttons before. This is the rewind button. Takes you all the way to the beginning. Same works for the fast forward button. Takes you all the way to the end. Takes you to the beginning and end of each clip. So that's how you can quickly navigate around your clips in your timeline. This button over here is the microphone. If you hit this, it says record voiceover. This is a quick, easy way to record. I'm not going to do this today because what would happen is if I hit it, I would then loop. It would make a sort of an echoey sound, which I don't want to do because I'm plugged into headphones and have a microphone on. But if I hit this button, you would get this red dot over here. And then if I wanted to record, I would just hit that dot and it would make a recording, and you would see that recording in green down here where my arrow is, just like we did with the audio file. It's a good way to add sort of commentary or details if you wanted to add things to, say, a slideshow or sort of a silent reel. But we'll get into all that later. So I'm just going to hit that and make it go away. And now we're going to get into the fun stuff. So these are all the effects that we can play around with. Some of them do similar things. Some of them you probably won't use, but some of them you will. So we're going to go through them one at a time. First one here is color balance. This is a way that you can play around with the color of the effects, or of the clip itself, sorry, without it being too much work. So again, you guys know just as much about this as I do, but I'm going to play around with it. You see what's happening is if I click a color and then I click somewhere else, it matches the skin tone to the background. So that's one thing you can do. Now if you don't like that, you just hit X and I hit reset. And now what happens is the clip goes back to the way it started. So I can click any of these. I can hit automatic, and then it sort of goes neutral. I can hit match color, skim to the frame you want it to match. Let's try that out. And then there you go, and now the colors match, we think. But again, if you don't like it, you hit the X, reset, and now it goes back to normal. If you wanted to play around with the color in more detail or more dramatically, you hit this palette button right here. And then you can play with the color based on sliders. So you see I've taken away the color. I've now made it much warmer. And I can put that right back. I can click over here, add light, or I can make it very dark and take away light. Over here, we can go negative. That's what that is, and that's sort of a blue background. We can also go very warm, use what we call a sepia background. These will always be right in the middle, but if you ever want to play around with them, you can. And now this is a good one here. This is cropping. So cropping is a way that we can change the position of the clip itself. So by hitting this, you see I've now changed the direction. I can make it go upside down. I can make it go this way. I can make it go that way. And if at any point I don't like it, I just hit reset and it goes back. Now one of the things we can do is hit crop to fill. And now what this will do is if I want to just say a close-up of my face, I can take it and I can play around with it just like that. And what I'm doing is I'm clicking and dragging to the size that I want. And I can alter the size of this box by clicking and dragging in the corner, and then I can move it by clicking and dragging in the middle. So when I do that, and I go back to the beginning, take a look and see if it works now. See how close we are to my face? We weren't that close before. So if I want to reset it, I just hit reset, and now I'm back. Now one other cool effect there is if I want to use something called a Ken Burns effect. And Ken Burns is a filmmaker, so this effect is named after him. So if you hit this button here, you see we're in the start over here and then end, we can actually change where the clip begins and where it finishes, which is really cool. So let's say, and then I can switch them, I want to start the clip all the way over here in the corner. And then by the end, I want it to be right over here, right where we were before. So if I do that, what will happen is the camera will look like it's going from here to here. And we'll do that throughout the course of the clip. So let's try it out. You ready? See how it's focused on the wall? And now, if you look, see how it looks like it's moving over to me? So that's a cool little effect that you can do. And again, to reset it, you hit reset. This clip here fixes what we call shaky video. So if at any time you're filming something on an iPad or a phone and it shakes and you don't like it, you hit this here and it stabilizes. Okay, and you can add how much of that stabilization you would like. This is taking a long time for it to do because when I was filming this, I wasn't really moving. So I'm just going to hit reset. Forget about that. Over here is volume. You can lower the volume of things around you by clicking this button here. You can alter how quiet or loud you would like your particular voice to be during this clip or whatever it is you're filming. Over here, we can actually take out some of the background noise in the clip. Let me just click that one more time. There we go. And I can do that by clicking that. I can change how it is equalized, meaning I can actually change what the computer picks up from the clip itself. So if there's music playing, I can make the music louder. If someone is talking, I can make that louder. I can reduce a humming noise if you hear humming in the background. There's all different sorts of things we can do. I can also speed up the clip by going like this, slow, fast, freeze frame, custom. If I hit custom, I can change just how fast or slow it is. I can make the clip go in reverse. And finally, I can put a filter on the clip, on the whole thing. That I leave to you. I'm sure you guys have played around with these before if you guys have used iMovie. So we can put that in there. And now that clip will look like that. And then finally, this last guy here is not really a filter or anything to play around with. This is saving information. So that's it for how to use iMovie. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be taking all of these clips and all these videos that I've made, and I'm going to put them together in a big iMovie presentation for you. And stay tuned, it's going to be interesting.